This is pretty useful for perhaps a mobile base of operations, a forward base, for maybe doing experiments with what's in the region that you're trying to get to. Unfortunately, this design only goes in two directions. But besides that, I've also been working on this thing, which is sort of a bulk storage device. It can take a line of blocks from something like a cobblestone generator or a sand collector or anything like that, maybe a tree farm, and turning it on with this switch, it's able to progressively build up a giant solid cube of blocks, and the maximum number of blocks each one of these units can hold is a 12 by 12 by 12 cube of blocks, because 12 is the push limit. Imagine what could be done if the push limit was higher. And so you can see it will progressively fill up the first row, and then once that's full, it will fill up the next row. This is actually a pretty old design. I'm just reinventing it. Anyway, while that's building, I'm going to go over here and look at this. Another thing I've been needing to do is memory, and so I've been experimenting with the memory designs. This one is utilizing the semi connection with between the pistons and the redstone that's been in Minecraft since I don't even remember how long. And this machine is capable of storing information very rapidly and very accurately. Oh, that's strange. Now let's look at that again. So this piston is actually incidentally being powered by accident, so hold on a second. There. Now it shouldn't be having that problem anymore. Yeah, that's something to be careful of. It doesn't just affect these pistons, it also affects the update piston, which is what this is. Previously I just used a redstone line with a signal, but this is actually, I think, better. It's certainly more compact, which is another very important detail. And so, how I'm getting the signal to these pistons indirectly is first from up above. These compact lines feed into these blocks, which power both this down here and this across from it, which both propagates the signal to the piston and extends it to the next cell. Whereas this line down here does the same thing, only below. This was how I did it to get it all the way in there. And you can stack these horizontally. The only problem I can see is with how these pistons will add 1 tick of delay each time, so there's going to be a maximum delay of however many of these cells you have in a line, which I would think is a bad thing. So instead of actually propagating it this way, I would probably recommend running these lines actually above the cell, and then every time there is a cell along the line, running the wires down to it. But of course that's bigger and less compact. And with redstone being as uncompact as it is already, you could end up having a memory that's as big as a skyscraper, literally. But what I thought about with this is, you could probably use a four-way omnidirectional flyer in order to have a mobile base you could take anywhere with you, which could hold mass quantities of items without actually needing to build a minecart track in order to have permanent logistical infrastructure to transport these things. But primarily, I can imagine this being useful for traveling across the oceans, since the only other option really is boats. Or, if you really wanted to, you could use a glider. But that's actually all for right now. I've been working on other things in secret, but those things will need to wait. Oh, and look. I guess you can see this is the maximum extent, but it's not actually being utilized right now. And then for this, the maximum extent will be identical for that and these. And then after that's all done, you could probably use a TNT duplicator and have a permanent raw resource farm. Which is actually the type of automation I was trying to do in my first Minecraft Let's Play, but it turns out that not having automatic crafting makes a lot of the automation impossible, and so I decided the series might as well just end there, because you're not going to be able to do half of the things that you would need to do in order to make a full facility, like I was planning on. In fact, it would have required such a small change to Minecraft's base mechanics that you would basically only need not even a mod, just a plug-in for a vanilla server. It's ridiculous. In fact, if I had an alternate Minecraft account and a LAN server, I could just do it that way, where one of the accounts would be running a bot that would do the auto-crafting, and that could be the one auto-crafter for the entire facility, and it would work just fine.